I just really don't know how we're going to make a soft transition work. So I'm just gonna do it. Hey guys, welcome to Side Character Quest. This is me, your host as usual, Ty, and this time returning as Alton, your favorite halfling rogue, we have Mallory. Say hello, Mallory.
Hello, Ty.
Welcome back. So we're just going to get basically right into this. It's been a couple of, how long has it been? It's been a while. It's been a while since we recorded.
It's been more than just a couple of weeks.
It's been at least a month because it was before our friend Daryl got married, and it was the last time we recorded was significantly before that, and now it's significantly after that. So a significant amount of time has passed.
Yikes.
Yeah, do you have any questions about what happened? Do you need any sort of reminder about what was going on in the show?
I feel like I remember most of what happened in the episode, maybe just like a brief
summary
recap of the very end. I know it ended with the letter from Frederick or Cedric or whichever one of the Ricks.
Yeah, whichever one is in charge of that stuff.
Talking about the Skelly Boys. Yeah, just a brief recap of that, because I don't think we did anything after you read the letter.
Nope. So here is basically what happened in the last episode. You, Wark, and Danny, running away from your troubles in your hometown of Cirque. I don't know if it's actually your hometown. It's definitely the place that you've lived for the past long amount of time. You made your way down to St. Simone's Island, which is a small island off of the coast of the Salton Sea. It's a tourist town, and you arrived to meet up with your old apprentice, Salty Sim. You rented out a couple of rooms with the Salton Sea Bee Company, and while you were there, you pickpocketed a Lumineer and broke into his room and found a letter saying that basically that the Lumineers are being tasked with keeping Cirque safe by preventing the dark magic that's on St. Simone's Island from spreading to the mainland. The Lumineer also mentioned something about a skeleton being held in a church or something like that. And you let Wark know about this. I believe that you said you were not going to let Danny know about this, and you didn't seem to trust Sim. Is that still the case?
You did that on purpose.
Yeah.
He just has the almost exact same voice as the people I just ran away from.
Yeah, so
But I mean, I guess Alton should have no reason not to trust him, because I feel like he's known Sim for a while, right?
Yeah,
they were an apprentice.
He did mention this. I'm just pointing this out because it's been a very long time, and it was something that made you suspicious at the time, so I don't want you to have just forgotten about it. He mentioned that one of the places that you could find a place to stay would probably be with the church, and I think that made you suspicious.
I mean, it was mainly just the French accent.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well,
for Mallory, I guess for Alton, the church stuff was a little sketchy too.
Yeah. So I think where we're going to jump back into the story, unless you have something very specific that you want to be doing, I think that we're going to be jumping back into the story a few weeks after you've arrived at
a few weeks.
Yes, a few weeks. Yeah, it's been.
Yikes! What have we been doing all this time?
That's what I'm about to ask you.
Oh, okay.
What have you been up to in this time? So you tell me what you've been up to, and I will let you know if any of the stuff that's been going on has affected that, if that makes sense.
Yikes. Okay.
Because, I mean, that was your plan to, hunker down for at least, a couple weeks to sort of resettle and decide whether you were going to, stay here or leave. We talked about that after the podcast. I don't remember if we talked about it on.
I don't remember either, but okay.
If you want it to be closer to a week, that's fine.
No. This is your world, Ty. I just live in it. Because I know I had said originally that I might send Danny to just apprentice with Sim, but now that I don't trust them, I feel like Alton would go help around the shop and just maybe try to get more information on what's going on from Sim, because, I mean, they are the one person that Alton knows.
Okay.
And I guess he wouldn't trust enough to send Danny. I don't know what Danny and Work are up to, honestly. I don't know what, like, I guess Danny could be like a waiter.
Okay.
I guess they could do whatever they want. They are adults that can make their own decisions.
That's fair. Okay, cool. Do you have anything, do you have any other, like, things that you think you would have done in this time period? Any other things that you would have checked out?
I imagine, because Alton's been here before, correct?
Yes, you were here, maybe, I believe I said like 10 years ago, somewhere around that.
Is there anybody else that's here that was here back then that I could maybe, because I feel like if I know I'm gonna be here for a while, I would reach out. A, because Alton is a sociable person and would want to check in on these people if he cared about them, but B, also maybe to get more information about why all of a sudden this place is so church heavy.
Gotcha. Most of the people at this town, roll me a history check real quick. So just to sort of see how much you remember about your time there.
That's a 9.
A 9. So from what you recall, like most of the people in this area last time you were here, they would be very transient. There were not a lot of people that would stay here for the whole year. Most of the folks were coming for brief stints, brief vacations, that sort of stuff. And there are locals, there's definitely locals, but when you were here last, you mostly were talking with business owners and shopkeepers, of which at the time there were not many. There's definitely some more stores popped up around now. You do remember that there was there's Mayor Chambers, who I've mentioned before, who you had pretty good relations with. And there was also, there's a post office, a museum, but that's about it.
I feel like if Alton felt like he had a good enough relationship with the mayor, he would at least reach out and let her know that he's in town.
Okay.
If she wants to meet up. And then also, I just had this thought right now. He would definitely be going to church.
Interesting. I was really not expecting that. Okay.
Because I feel like as much as he doesn't want to be involved in this shit,
yeah,
he's also curious.
Okay.
He's not making a scene at church or like trying to get involved in activities, but he's going and he's listening.
Yeah, okay. So tell me, what order do you want to do these 3 scenes? We're gonna have a scene where you're talking with Salty Sim, where you're doing some work with them. We have a scene where you are meeting up with Mayor Chambers, and we have a scene of you going to church.
I imagine church,
okay,
Mayor, Sim.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's the level of, I would need that much information to be able to have a good interaction with Sim, I feel like.
Gotcha.
The one you're least prepared for, I want to do first.
After a few days of you being settled down, hey, you know all that stuff that I said about 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. Throw that in the garbage, because we'll break out this time period as things go. So a few days after you've been here, you've settled down a little bit. You decide that, okay, well, I want to see see what's going on with the Lumineers. You've heard that there is a very old church down on the main street that they've set up shop in, and I guess Sunday, that would make sense. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Just for simplicity's sakes, we're going to say...
I'm not familiar with the laws of Lumen.
Yeah. On Lumen's holy day, whatever that may be, you make your way over to... you make your way down the street to the church to sort of see what sort of services are going on. You've mostly avoided the area. There's a lot of, I assume, I could be wrong here, but there's a lot of those soldiers in the, well, not soldiers, a lot of the Lumineers in the green vestments that you had seen at Lulu's Tavern before, the Salt and CB company. And they're just sort of streaming in and out, but eventually the flow starts to drop off as you see some sort of like the beginnings of a mass beginning on the inside. And that's around the time that you arrive and head in. What do you do when you walk into this church?
Before I go in, sorry.
Okay, go for it.
Taking it back a little bit.
That's fine.
Are there like Lumineers around outside talking?
Yeah. So you see several Lumineers. They're mostly human. There might be a couple that are not, but they're mostly human. They're mostly look to be from like maybe the youngest one might be their late teens. The oldest one might be their mid-20s. That sort of age range. Some of them they're all wearing these like light green vestments, and yeah, they're just sort of like milling about. There's men and women that's, they're just kind of hanging out. Yeah.
I just imagine Alton would try to just casually eavesdrop. Like nobody ever really notices him. He's a halfling, and these are all seemingly self-important
Yeah, totally.
religious warriors.
Roll me a perception check.
That's a crit 20. I don't know what's happening in my life.
I don't know what.
I don't know if I like it. It feels wrong.
I feel like I need to give you something really good for that, but I'm not sure what you would overhear from. Okay. Let me think about this.
All
for a
the
moment.
secrets of the Lumineers. Now you got to tell me everything.
Yeah.
Because that's wild.
Yeah, that's wild.
What a waste of a crit 20.
So you're standing out there. It's just sort of like milling about among the crowd. People are just sort of overlooking you, not looking down. You're probably used to this when you go through the city of Cirque, where, in your hometown of Cat's Hill, it's mostly goblins, gnomes, and halflings. But you've noticed that when you go around the elves and humans, human population, if you're in a crowd mostly of taller folk, people don't really pay you much mind. And so you're able to slip in and listen in some conversations. You overhear some people talking about, a lot of them are just talking about, living their day. You hear somebody mention something about closing a bridge. You hear about Mayor Chambers and not liking her. You hear some folks talking about all sorts of things. There's one person that there's these couple of people that are speaking in relatively hushed tones, and you pick up on that, and you walk over, and you recognize one of the two people as that Lumineer that you had snagged a badge from a few days back, and he is talking to this other woman. What was his voice? I think it was a vaguely like southern.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Man, I don't know what. Wait, no. What would they be saying here? Oh, okay. She, the woman that is standing with him, says, "Shh, you can't just go around telling people about this stuff. All right, you gotta keep it on the down low." And he says, "Man, I'm responsible. I don't just let stuff loose. I don't know what you're talking about. Calm down. It's not a big deal. Responsible. Who had to get you a replacement badge? Me. Come on, dude. Pull yourself together. You're not gonna make it anywhere if you keep slipping up like this. God. Oh man, I did not slip up. All right. Somebody snagged it from me. That's all I know. That's the only thing that makes sense. And they don't really notice you. I'm trying to think if how I could phrase giving you something else. Oh, I know. All right. That's fine. But just whatever you do, like I don't want you, walking around. I don't tell anybody else about the SKELETTO. The things. Don't tell anybody else about them, all right? Like, that needs to stay between us. Got it? All right. Okay, fine. I mean, good way to get drinks, though. And that's basically what you heard.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I just want the listeners to know that I was leaning in closer as I was whispering, as if that would make me hear
I
better.
really hope all of that picked up on the mic. I'll feel really bad if...
No, it definitely did.
Okay, good.
Or I could hear it. I just was leaning in closer because I felt like I should because someone was whispering to me.
Nice.
So wait, I he never mentioned the skeletons. I learned about the skeletons because of the note.
I think that he might have mentioned them in passing, but
Okay.
even if he didn't,
I couldn't remember.
even if he didn't, he definitely, she definitely was reacting as if he was just kind of like being willy-nilly announcing these sorts of things.
Cool.
So whether or not he told you, it's a concern. So what do you do at this point? Are you going to try to get any other info? Or are you going to try to slip in, or what?
I feel like I rolled a 20, so that's probably all the info you're gonna give me out here.
Yeah, I don't want to give you like, okay, then the two people come by and say, and well, all of the secrets.
But yeah, no, Alton would, I guess, just go into the church and sit down Alton doesn't frequent churches, but I imagine he at least knows what he's supposed to do. I don't know that much about Lumen and what religion it is closest to in our world, but I imagine he would go sit in a pew. That's what we did the last time we were in a church. My main curiosity for him coming here was to see, like, if the church is doing, like, or saying or preaching anything different here. Like, does it seem like, I mean, obviously they're not telling people, hey, there's skeleton monsters, but, like, are people in the church not curious as to why all of a sudden all these Lumineers are here? Just like the normal people? Like, is that addressed at all? Or are people just being told, like, what are people being that go to this church and worship Lumen being told for why there's all of a sudden all these Lumineers just around?
I'm going to ask you to roll me a religion check, just to see like how different this seems from like what you would expect.
That is a 14.
Yeah, so this definitely seems like you have very little experience with the church, but you have
Fair.
you have like chatted with fucking his name.
Yeah, the one that Alton's cool with.
Yeah, you have chatted with the high priest of Nox, Lord. Which one is Cedric and which one is Frederick? Oh my God. Why did I do this to myself?
I know which one Roderick is.
Yeah, why did I do this to myself, really, though?
I feel like Cedric is the one that I talked to at the party, but that is based off of almost no confidence.
I think you're right, but I'm gonna check. Yes, okay. So,
Yes.
so you've chatted with Lord Cedric, who used to be a high priest of Lumen. He was probably a high priest when you first arrived at Cirque. High priest of Lumen. Now he's the high priest of Nox. That's just how things go. And you definitely did, just out of respect for him when his grandson went missing a while back. You probably attended some masses for Lumen in Cirque before you left, and so you picked up a bit of how things usually go. And this is definitely more amateurish. The folks here they don't seem like they're reading from, like, Lord Frederick, when he would do his sermons, they would be usually from memory, but they would feel like they were, just off the top of his head. And these guys are very clearly like reading their notes, and it's a lot more, it's a lot more rote, and they're talking a lot about duty and about doing what is best for the community and that sort of stuff. That's sort of the general message that is going on. But that's pretty much all you pick up from that.
Okay.
Wow, that was a very long way to go for not a lot of information.
Yeah, sorry about that. I feel like that was like a little weird side excursion, but I was genuinely curious, mostly just to see, like, I assumed that there wouldn't be as strong as a religious presence here as there was in Cirque, just because Cirque's a much larger city and this is kind of just like a tourist destination. But I imagine that there's at least some people, and I was curious how they were reacting to all the, because like the Lumineers' presence is relatively recent, right?
Yes. So I'm going to wrap up this scene with by giving you some description, writing off of that 20 crit perception check. Looking around this room, you can tell that this is a very old church. This building is much older than any other building that you've seen on St. Simone's. And you can also tell that a lot of the furniture that you're sitting on, the altar that's in the front and all of that sort of stuff, those are relatively new. This stuff has been just sort of, seems like it's been sort of shoved into place, retrofitted into this church. And you also notice that it's sort of in a corner. A lot of furnishings have been sort of display cases, that sort of stuff has all been like shoved to the side. You also notice that most of the folks in here are other Lumineers. You don't see a lot of you don't see a lot of locals. It's almost all these young Lumineers, mostly human, all in these green vestments, most of whom are carrying weapons of some sort, usually like a club or a sword or something like that. And that's pretty much all you get. There's a few doors in the room, but that's the gist of it. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end this scene. So let's take a quick break, and while we do that, let's hear from another show on the Scavengers Network.
All right.
Do you wish your life was a little more spooky?
Well, what the heck? Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Reed.
And I'm Lindsay Reed.
And this is Spooky Spouses, a podcast about ghosts and stuff.
Tall tales.
Although we went to dinner last night and you told the lady on our wait list that our name was Cradge. Was it Cradge?
Creepy cryptids.
There.
Poor Pizza Rat. Pizza Rat is pizza and a rat.
Yeah, it's double delicious.
He's a rat with pizza. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Thank God there hasn't been a corn dog rat.
Or you'd be eating that rat.
You know what? I think in my defense, if someone was like, you ate a live rat? I'd say, well, it was holding a perfectly good corn dog.
Monstrous goofs.
Well, you could probably just put a video because like our tombstones will probably just be like videos replaying. They'll be like memes or GIFs.
Yeah.
Our tombstones will probably just be GIFs.
That's one of the coolest things you've ever said.
A spooky spot.
Sorry, there's something stuck in my throat that whole time. Spooky Spouses, a part of the Scavengers Network and VidiSpace. New episodes every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh man, that's a great show right there. I don't know which one I decided to put in, but you know, I'm sure it was awesome. So let's start with how about the scene of you working at Salty Sims? So you and Salty Sim are just sort of at the shop. Where do you think Danny is? Do you think he's with you guys, or do you think he's off doing something else?
I don't know, Ty. Danny's your creation. What would Danny want to do? Would he want to be at the shop learning more, or would he want to be like giving kayak tours? I don't know.
How about let's say so Danny is off with
To get a part-time summer job, take a break from like locksmithing and such.
So this is a few days after the last scene, and Danny, had been working with Sim for a little bit, but he asked, he's like, hey boss, do you mind if I met this cool gnome, this cool other, but it turns out we're cousins, or like distant cousins, pretty distant. I don't think we're actually related, but he's a nice guy, and he offered to let me help with his kayak business. So we're gonna go. He's gonna show me around the island a bit. Is that cool?
Hell yeah, sounds fun.
Nice. Elijah!
Can I come on a tour for free?
He said I could do it! Alright, thanks, boss. And he runs.
Where are we when this conversation is happening?
He runs
You can
out
just
the
yell.
He slams the door as he runs out of the of Salty Sim shop. So you and Sim are standing in the shop. There's all sorts of different locksmith and novelties, like different chests, locks, a lot of things that have sort of a faux pirate motif around the store. They're all very like sea stuff, like little ships and treasure chests and that sort of thing. And you're sort of standing in the space where customers can walk in, and he's behind the counter, working at a small work desk. What do you do?
Are there any customers?
Do you want there to be?
No.
No, there's no customers. So this is early in the morning. You guys usually don't have anybody show up until a little bit later. And we're also kind of on off season. So there's not tons of folks around right now. You see more folks during the depths of the summer.
Cool. I just was trying to stall temporarily to think of how I would start this conversation. Cool. So, for real this time. So Sim, how you liking it here?
Well, it's honestly, Alton, I would have preferred if I had been able to set up shop somewhere else. I appreciate that they take the stuff that they're working on. It's this chest that pops open and just like spits out a bunch of gold pieces when you put in a certain combination, like fake gold pieces. He pushes it away from him. I mean, to be honest, I've learned a lot about I've gotten better at things. I've gotten better at making things, but everything I'm doing now, it feels frivolous. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing anything to make people safe. I'm not working for the common man, and I'm also not working for I'm also not working for the elite of the elite. You know what I mean? It's sort of this weird in between that I don't particularly care for, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, it looks a little, and Alton looks around the shop, cheesy in here, huh?
I mean, it's all they want. I tried making just like high quality the stuff that you've shown me. I tried making look at this, and he pulls out this sort of puzzle lock, and he passes it to you, and he says, "Look at this. I made this 3 years ago. I had it in the on the display case for 10 months before anybody even picked it up. Everybody just comes in and they want just a clockwork pirate ship where some dragonborn walks the plank. That's all they want. They don't want real quality craftsmanship like this. And you look at this device and can tell it's sort of a spin off of a design that you made a while back. That's basically taking the idea of a combination lock, but applying it to like sort of a 3D object instead of a so kind of like imagine like if a Rubik's Cube was a lock. Like that's sort of the idea behind it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's super intricate, and it's more complicated than like the similar designs that you had made. I would like to be doing more things like this, I guess is what I'm saying. But no one appreciates it.
Hey, Ty.
Yeah.
Why did I send him here? Or did I send him here? How did this work? I'm sorry. Sidebar. As I recall, I don't remember if this was a thing I decided or if this was a thing we decided together. I mean, Sim was definitely of your creation.
Oh, yeah.
So his unhappiness in his locale is your fault.
So I think what we had talked about was that you knew some folks here and you were able to set him up with a shop. So the fact that he is here is just because this is where you had connections. You had connections with Mayor Chambers. You told her that like, hey, we can like set up this business here. If you let us, it'll be great. It'll be perfect. And he was your they were your apprentice at the time. So you sent them to make residence at the shop. So I mean, if you want to ask them like, hey, why haven't you moved away? Feel free.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I want this conversation to tell me more about the goings-on of this place. But that seems insensitive when my poor old apprentice is like, I hate my life.
I mean, man, I could think of so many easy ways for you to transition into that.
Hey, Ty? Conversational transitions are not my strong suit.
Am I gonna help you? No, I don't think I am.
I don't even want you to, because then you would be like, oh, I'll edit it out, and you wouldn't. Okay. Okay. Well, what about the island itself? Like, have you met any people here? You got any friends? You've been here a while. Do you have any connections that you make you want to stay?
I mean, I suppose. I don't know. I don't have. Most of the people here are pretty transient. I suppose there's Lulu. She runs a shop, but between all of those kids, it's a lot. She doesn't really have time to make friends. Elijah runs the stores. Signe runs the museum, but she's, oh my goodness. I mean, she's not feeling good right now. You know what? I mean, I'm sure you've seen what's happened with the museum. It's Lumineers have taken that. She's not too happy. But
What? I haven't seen what happened to the museum. Thank you, Ty. I say to the sky.
Yeah. Well, okay. So a little while ago, there was some. I don't know how much I want to get into it. I think Mayor Chambers is trying to keep it on the down low. But I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately. She's trying
It's the theme of this episode.
She's been trying to keep it on the down low. But there was some stuff that happened a while back that sort of brought the Lumineers here. They're trying to do their part to keep us all safe. But they needed a base of operations, and well, the logical choice, listen, you take a museum, you turn it into a church, the church arrives, they're going to take that, you take a church, you turn it into a museum, if the clerics arrive, then of course they're going to take that museum, turn it back into a church, you know what I mean? So, Signe not too happy about that. She would probably much rather have it, still under her possession, you know what I mean? I mean, if they had taken...
Keep us
What was that?
safe from what?
Roll me a persuasion check to get him to tell you about it. He clearly looks like he doesn't really want to talk about it too much.
That's too bad. Because that's a not natural 20.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna have him roll a wisdom check.
Alton is very persuasive.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? 13. Yeah. So he rolled a 13. Well, I don't want to. Okay, well, keep this between us because, so a while back there was this guy that came through town, brother Aemar of the Lumineers. He was the first Lumineer to arrive, and he was supposed to sort of set up shop. Well, I was hanging out with him one night, and some people had broken into the church, and well, I didn't really see what happened. Let me say that I did not really see what happened. If I say anything that is blatantly wrong from having listened to the episodes, let me know. But I'm pretty sure this is all accurate, what I'm about to say. I did not really see what happened, but he claimed that... This is going to sound crazy. I know that there's been all these sorts of crazy news lately about necromancy. I don't know if you've heard about this. About this stuff over in South Turn or something, like off in that way. But there's been all of these. He said that there were these skeletons doing some sort of ritual on the beach, and when he said that, what was the question?
The question was just, what are they protecting us from?
And so after he wrote to Lord Frederick Berserk, he sent down a whole squadron of Lumineers and to keep us safe, to come down, to check out, to see what was going on and to handle it. And listen, to be perfectly frank, I don't believe that there's anything Obviously there were not any skeletons, but there's probably some crazy people around. Brother Amar was very drunk. He was very drunk.
Okay, good. I was about to be really worried about you there, Sim. I was gonna say you've been spending too much time in the sun.
No, he was a
Skeletons.
he's a good guy. Just keep this between us. He's a very good guy, and to be put, Mayor Chambers did not really like him that much, and I want you to know he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Even if he's a little bit, he's a little bit zealous. Do you have anything else you want to ask him about, or do you want to fade this out?
I don't know, Ty.
Okay.
I feel like there's so much more that could happen here, but I don't think he really saw anything, and what he may have seen, he doesn't seem to really believe.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't really trust him.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like Alton wouldn't linger.
You got everything that you're gonna really get from this guy.
Okay, then let's fade out.
Yeah. So after that, he goes back to working on that chest, and you sort of walk over and sort of start walking him through some of the clockwork parts of it, and sort of the locking mechanism. Salty Sims, locksmithing and novelties. God, I'm sorry. One moment, I'm gonna go take care of this. How do you think you're going to, where do you think you're going to be talking with her? So I sort of imagined you going over to her house and like having either a dinner or a lunch with her, but if you have a preference.
Yeah, no, I think that would work. I imagine that Alton would send some kind of letter, like he wouldn't just knock on the door, just some kind of letter being like, hey, I'm in town.
Yeah.
And would love to chat. I don't know.
Yeah. So you sent her your calling card.
Whatever makes sense. And then she would probably respond and be like, come on this day. Yeah.
Gotcha. So probably you've been here for probably about 2 weeks at this point. And you have gotten a letter. You've probably, seen Mayor Chambers just walking around town sometimes, but she's always been like really busy whenever you've seen her. And she hasn't really noticed you. But you guys knew each other back when you were originally here, and you wanna say hi. So eventually you guys arrange a date that you're gonna come over and come over for dinner, for lunch, or for tea. What are you thinking?
Not tea.
Not tea?
Nah, that sounds boring.
It'd be sweet tea.
Let's just do lunch.
Okay. And do you think it's just going to be you, or do you think Danny or Wark are going to come with you?
Would Danny or Wark want to come? They're your creations.
So Danny,
I was thinking no, but I mean.
So this is your, 2 weeks in, as you're sort of getting ready to head out, you ask like Wark and Danny, like, do either of them want to come with you? And Danny, this is like, no, boss, I gotta meet up with Elijah. We got a tour with 5 or 6 with these couple from Mount Rena. We're gonna take him all around the island. It's gonna be great. He is really tan. It's like it ends.
I was gonna
like,
say, is he tan and buff now?
He's not buff yet, but he's definitely tan. And you've seen him doing a lot of like stretching him, like his arms and stuff. Like oh, I'm getting tight. Oh gosh. Yeah, but he's definitely gotten like really, really tan.
As he's walking out, Alton yells, "Don't forget your hat!"
Oh, you got it, boss! And he like reaches back and he grabs a hat with just like this big old rooster feather on it. And after that, Wark, tells you like, yeah, I'd love to come. Sure, I don't have any plans for today. And you guys leave the.
Wait.
Yes.
Before we leave,
Yes.
can I buy a bottle of mead to bring to lunch?
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you buy a bottle of mead from Miss Lulu, and make your way down to the sort of neighborhood.
Maple trees?
Maple trees? Is that what they are on?
Is that what you were thinking with the big leaves?
Whatever lives on St. Simon's Island. I don't know what those are.
Oh.
Yeah, they have like
Oak.
Oak. That sounds right. And they have Spanish moss.
With all the moss?
Yeah, they have Spanish
oak.
moss, like just dangling from them. And so you walk by a bunch of like really fancy houses, but eventually make your way to a more secluded area that has the nice but still but less fancy home of Mayor Winnie Chambers. You see, there's a very like wide porch that just sort of goes around the whole house. Out front, there's whitewashed wood paneling on all of the walls. The shed out back, small garden, that sort of stuff. And as you approach, you approach with the bottle, and you approach with walking next to Wark. You notice a older woman.
She was not. Has she been mayor since was she mayor the last time I was here?
No. So last time you were here, she was not mayor, but she was like on her way up. You know what I mean?
Cool.
She was really had made a name for herself and was like the networking person, the person you talk to. There might not have even really been a mayor at the time. Like the town might not have been as structured when you first arrived. So you arrive and you see Mayor Winnie Chambers, 10 years older than you last saw her. She's just sitting on a rocking chair out in the front, waiting for you guys. And as you approach, she stands up. Very good posture, very upright. You guys walk up, and she says, "Welcome there, Grandmaster. Oh, sorry. Welcome, Guildmaster Alton. How you doing this evening?"
Grandmaster.
Sorry about that. I don't let it get to your head. How you doing there, Guildmaster Alton?
I'm doing pretty well, Mayor Winnie. Congratulations, and I hand over the mead.
Thank you kindly. That's and she takes the mead and smiles. Oh, you know, I've been working very hard to keep this city ship shape since you were last down here. How's old Salty Sim doing?
He's good. He's not causing any trouble for you, is he?
No, sir. They bring all sorts of great. Everybody that comes to town loves to stop by his shop, grab themselves a nice model pirate ship with some sort of clockwork sail on it, with a little dragonborn that walks the plank. Everybody loves those things. #1 souvenir in the whole city.
Nice. Yeah, I noticed business really seems to be booming since the last time I was here.
Oh, definitely. Oh, well, why don't I show you and who is this here?
This is my friend Wark.
How do you do, ma'am?
Wark, this is Winnie.
Hello.
Mayor Chambers.
Hello, Mayor Chambers. Winnie's fine. Oh, Winnie. My name is Wark. I know Alton from. He looks at you, sort of like a searching look in his eyes. I know him from work.
We met in Cirque. I helped work with some locksmithing business back in the city.
Yes, that. Exactly. Let's go inside. And he walks ahead of you guys. Mayor Chambers gives you a look like okay, this guy. But she seems bemused, and she follows him through the door and leads you inside. When you enter, there's it's a fairly like airy space. The roofs are pretty high. There is a slow moving sort of fan circling in the ceiling. There are some couches. There's a table. There's these display cases with all sorts of different sort of knickknacks and things from around the island in this sort of glass display case. And she motions to the chairs and says, "Take a seat wherever you'd like. I'm gonna go ahead and what would you like to drink? Anything in particular?"
I'd love some sweet tea.
Excellent. I'll go ahead and get that. Same for you, Walk. I don't really I don't really drink sweet tea. It's a little too much. It's like, don't worry. I only use a 1 or 2 bags in each pitcher, bags of sugar. And so she steps to the other room, and goes into the kitchen and starts. You hear glasses starting to chink around. While that happens, you're just like sort of sitting down. What do you do in this moment?
I imagine I'd turn to Work and say, "Hey, could you be any more suspicious? We're not doing anything wrong here."
I know it's just been so long since I've just been on the up and up. I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. And he just sort of like clasps his hands on his lap and like sits very upright. I'll just act normal.
Great. Perfect. Just like that.
So sort of looking around the room, you notice all those things I mentioned before. You also notice a package sitting by the door that's just sort of like this is cardboard not cardboard, I guess, but there's sort of a package that's wrapped in parchment sitting by the door. It's this big sort of square box of some sort wrapped in parchment. And that's all you see right now. So are you just going to wait for her to come back in?
Yeah, I know you're giving me all these suspicious and intricate trinkets and boxes and stuff because you want me to go in and steal stuff, but this is my one confidant in the city.
That's fair.
I don't want her to come in to me just opening shit or stealing trinkets.
That's fair.
So I'm just gonna wait for now.
Okay.
For now. We'll see you later, but for now.
So in a few minutes, she comes back in and she has this large pitcher of this just ice cold. You can see the pitcher like sweating. It's condensation. This pitcher of sweet tea and 3 glasses, and she pours each of them, hands them over to you. I assume you take a sip, and it's just like syrupy thick. Fun fact: I don't like sweet tea.
Sweet tea can be a lot. And I imagine Alton's not a super fan either. Mm-hmm. But of course he takes a sip and it's just like...
Delicious.
Thank you so much.
Alton takes a sip and he's like, very, very good. Mayor Chambers like sits down and says, "So Alton, my good friend, what brings you to town?"
Okay. I have a good answer for this question.
I'm
I just
excited.
was taking a moment to determine how I was going to phrase it. You know, every once in a while I just like to check in on old apprentices, and it's been a while since I've been here, and I missed the sun and the beach and thought, now's a pretty good time of year to go check on old Salty Sim. See how he's doing.
Oh, that's real good. Do you think that they're doing all right? Do you think I know I said that everybody loves their novelties, but do you think their technical craftsmanship is also up to snuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They were just showing me some stuff today that I was very proud of, actually just a little bit jealous of.
Oh.
Something that I wish I had come up with.
Well, that's very good. I'm glad to hear that. I actually placed an order with them not too long ago, and she sort of gestures over to the parchment wrapped box next to the door. Yeah, they made a nice little safe for me. Keep all of my. It's good to know that you trust their work. It makes me feel a little bit more confident. So, what have you? How have you found Our Fair City, Our Fair Island, in your time back?
It seems about like I remember it. Business seems to really be booming.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Down on the main strip, it's a little bit. I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but it's a little more churchy than I remember. A lot of folks in green patrolling around.
You see a sort of like darkness fall over her face, like a little look, like there's a little less of the charm and smile. Well, can't help but agree with you. I personally did what I could to keep those folks out from around. You know what they say, pilgrims don't pay. I would have preferred to keep this sort from settling down. I liked having the church as merely a historical venue, if you get what I mean. And now that it's more of an active spot, it's not. Don't feel too great about it.
Yeah, we've had some too pleasant run-ins with them already. It seems out of place. What? Have they been here long?
They've been here for a little while. At first, it was just the one. Some guy. I guess what was his name? Brother Amos, I believe. He came by and he was asking for a place to set up shop, and I told him no way. I'm not gonna give you any sort of permit to start preaching to the people that pay the good money to come here for vacation. And he's definitely not going to waste his time with any of the local folk. And I pulled some strings with my contacts back at Cirque to get him a new assignment that took him off the island. But apparently, by the time I did that, he had already called for some sort of reinforcements to come down here. So here we are.
Hey, Ty.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Does she know about the skeletons?
You can ask her.
Okay, I feel like that's a weird question. I just
She's not.
Okay, you don't if that's a part of the mystery, you don't have to tell me. I honestly couldn't remember how much she was really involved with what happened.
We did not see her. We did not see her after the first episode of Amar's arc.
Gotcha.
So as far as you know, she knows nothing. She knows at least as much as everyone, which is that the Lumineers. I know that the Lumineers are supposed to be here tracking down some sort of dark magic or something. I know what that brother Amos claims he saw, but well, we can't really trust that, can we?
I'm trying to determine which direction I want to take this conversation. Oh, I should have thought about this more.
If you aren't sure what you want to do, you can also say something like I want to roll a insight check to see how she feels about something that she said.
Oh yeah, I forget we do play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, so you can do something like that. I'm not sure what's making it hard for you to decide. But if it feels like you are missing some piece of information that you could gain from
No, basically I just don't know how honest I should be with her.
Gotcha.
About what I know about the situation. I have no reason not to trust her.
Yeah.
I just don't know if this is the best route of action for Alton to take. But also I don't know what else to do. I feel like I'm What was the last thing she said?
Something like something about she knows what Brother Amar said was going on, and she knows why the Lumineers say that they're here now, but who believes that sort of stuff, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I might try to roll something to see if I can pick up how much of this she believes might be true and how much is her just being the mayor and not wanting her town to seem unsafe.
Gotcha.
She's brushing it off not a big deal, but
very interesting. Okay.
Does she actually think that there might be dangers?
Yeah, totally. Roll me a insight check.
Wisdom. Ooh, okay. Oh, no critical fails yet. Ooh.
Nice.
So that is 17.
Nice. She actually rolled a 16.
It's been really great today. Very strange.
So yeah, you can tell that when she said that who would believe this sort of thing, she seemed to be trying to reassure you in that moment. You kind of got the vibe from her that she doesn't believe that.
Doesn't believe what? Sorry.
She was trying to reassure you that there isn't any sort of dark magic thing going on, but whether or not she truly believes that, you are skeptical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alton's gonna go off the rails.
Okay, cool.
No, wait, what were you gonna say? You say your thing first.
Oh, I was just gonna have work ask for some water.
Oh, wonderful. Let's do that.
Okay. You look over as Work says, and you see that he has like drank the whole glass of sweet tea. He says, could I have a glass of water? I don't, this was very sweet. And of course, yes, one moment. She makes a brief eye contact with you, like, okay, and like stands up and walks out.
I make eye contact like, I'm sorry.
And she walks, stands up and walks out of the room to go grab some water for him. And you hear her clinking around some dishes and maybe an ice box or something. So what do you do in this moment?
Work, I think I'm going to tell her about the skeletons.
Are you sure? Okay. I mean, I don't, okay. I mean, you haven't told Danny. I don't know. Why do you guys, I know you guys go back. Listen, I'm not the one to make this decision, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right. Do you want to do this? Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. And you say that like right as
Great scene.
as she's coming back in the room, and she sits down and offers a glass of water to Work, and has like a pitcher with a second pitcher and 2 extra glasses for you and her, and she starts drinking at it, and yeah, what do you say in this moment?
So Winnie, we go back. I'm going to shoot straight with you. I overheard a disturbing conversation outside the church the other day.
Oh?
These dangers that they're here to protect us from, they wouldn't happen to be skeleton monsters? That can't possibly be real, right?
Roll me an insight check.
Ty, that's a critical fail. It's been a long time, but here we are.
She rolled a 2.
Oh, that one rolled off the table, so hold on. That is insight 18.
Wow. Okay, she rolled a 2 bluff. Yeah, well, it would have been a little bit higher because she's a politician. She has pretty good charisma. She's a successful politician, so she has pretty good charisma. So she clearly, when you say that to her, she is caught off guard and she sort of sputters for a bit. She was drinking some water and kind of like spits into it, and she says, "No, where would you have ever? No, listen, I don't know who you heard that from, but there's definitely not been any sort of necromancy or anything going like that going around the island. Trust me on this. I promise you. Definitely not."
Listeners, Ty is shifting his eyes back and forth very quickly. I guess at this point, my hesitation is I don't want... Because I feel like Alton came in here hoping to find an ally, but if she's just going to keep denying, he's not going to want to push her so far.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I'm doing this specifically because you called out me shifting my eyes.
14. Could be better. My passive perception is 15.
Oh, yeah. Well, too bad. We're using that 14. You noticed that she was looking sort of towards the back of the house, sort of towards a back door when she was saying that.
Alton takes another sip of his water and leans in a little bit closer and says, "Should we go talk somewhere else?"
She, I'm trying to think of how she would interpret that.
I interpreted her looking toward the door as in other people were there and could hear the conversation.
I realize now that that's what you interpreted that as.
Oh God, was that not what I was supposed to interpret that as?
See, this is how, if you had gotten a 15, then you would have known, but with a 14, that's what you took from that. One moment, let me roll for an insight to see how she interprets what you were saying.
Oh God.
She got an 8, so she did not interpret that. She did not figure out what you I don't think she knows what you mean. she looks at you and she looks a little confused by you asking that. But she says, well, I suppose I don't see why not. And so she stands up and she, puts down her drink and says, all right, let's go. We can go for a walk around the island for a little bit. And so you guys, you have a passive perception of 15, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So you guys walk out of the house, sort of out of the back door of the house, sort of in the direction that she had been glancing earlier. And as you guys are walking out, you see her making like these furtive glances towards the garden, and she sort of walks you guys with a wide berth away from that, and down a path through the trees. And you guys just have a nice walk around the island, and you continue your conversation. It drifts around many different things. You guys talk about the different shops that have opened up in the place, some that have closed, some that have started, sort of what Mayor Chambers is hoping to happen with the island, what sort of businesses and people she wants to bring to the place. But eventually, you guys wrap up and head back and finish up your conversation. And yeah, you head home for the night after having had like a nice afternoon leading into evening, just hanging out with this old friend and Wark. So what do you do?
Hey, Wark's an old friend at this point.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're gonna end that scene.
Oh yeah, Alton's definitely coming back at night.
Okay.
I imagine he wouldn't tell Wark or Danny.
Mm-hmm.
He would just go, and I imagine both Wark and Danny are used to Alton just going places at night.
Yeah, definitely.
And not explaining them.
Definitely.
But yeah, I imagine Alton, because of how shifty she was being, looking in that certain direction, and how she very clearly made a point to not go anywhere near the garden, Alton would be suspicious enough to just look around, just see what's going on in this garden.
Yeah.
He's pretty stealthy. Let's do some rogue shit.
Go ahead and roll me a quick stealth check, just to make sure that you're not. Yeah.
Happily. This is one of my good stats.
You're gonna have advantage on this, by the way, because you're going late at night when she's asleep.
Good. That's much better. Okay. Stealth. 26.
Yeah, she got a 5. So
I can add 9
yeah.
to stealth checks. It's very fun.
So you arrive pretty late at night. She's already you're pretty sure she's already headed to bed, and there's just the sound of, I don't know, do the cicadas live in St. Simon's? I don't know.
Yes. I don't know. There's crickets or something.
There's the sound of
cicadas, the crickets. There's noise. There's background noise happening.
Yeah, so this sounds of all the little night critters.
Atmosphere.
General night atmosphere rolling through the air.
You can hear the waves in the distance.
Waves off in the distance. You can hear the wind blowing through the oaks. But among all of that, you see there's a halfling man sort of creeping through the woods and towards this small garden next to the mayor's house. So looking around, you don't see anything of particular note, except there is a shed on the opposite side of the garden, away from the building, away from her home. What do you do?
You know I'm gonna go in that shed.
Okay.
Are there any windows?
No windows. No windows at all. At all.
Okay. I'm assuming there's a door.
Yes, there is a door.
Is it just one door?
Just the one door on the front. The shed is maybe 10 foot by 10 foot. Is that big? That seems, it's like a medium-sized shed.
That seems right.
Okay.
That seems like a shed.
Yeah.
Okay, Alton is gonna go up and just kind of press his ear to the shit, because aren't they're made of
it's just thin wood.
Thinnish metal.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear anything?
So it's not made of metal. It's made of more of a pretty sturdy wood. But yeah, you give me a perception check. This is active, or maybe investigation. I don't know. Perception probably.
Investigation. Which one?
Whichever you think would be better.
That changes. I don't know.
Let's do
That changes my adding though.
Let's do the perception.
Cool. Perception is better. I still only a 15.
All right. So you hear, just like pressing your ear up against this door, you hear some slight shifting inside, and maybe the sound of metal, maybe like metal hitting metal, just very lightly.
Yikes. Alton is wishing that he would have brought someone with him or left a note, but you should always leave a note.
You're so nervous.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna open this door.
So you
Yikes.
push open the door very lightly. Do you have?
Oh, it's not even locked?
Yeah, it's not locked. It's not. Actually, let me back up. It wouldn't really make sense that it wouldn't be locked. You see that there's like that there's a lock on it, but it's pretty easy to just sort of like pop it open. It's child's play to you. Do you have any sort of light source on you, like a hooded lantern or something?
Yeah, I imagine I would have brought my whole burglar's pack, assuming that I was gonna have to break into something, and that's got a hooded lantern in it.
Cool.
Unless I left that in the Skeleton City when I was doing puppetry, I can't remember. I imagine I bought another hooded lantern.
You definitely would have bought another one at this point. So you lightly push open the door to the shed. It catches a little bit. You push a little bit harder, and you take a peek inside. And inside you see, you take out your hooded lantern and sort of scan the room, and you see some things. Like when you open the door, you see one side of the shed, and on that side of the shed there's some tools, there's a shelf, there's a work desk, and all of it's just sort of like pushed very much against that wall. And so you push open the door a little bit farther, and as you do, you hear some more of that metal on metal sound, that sort of shaking sound. Then you lean in, can't quite make out anything else in the room from this angle, so you open the door and you step inside, and you see on the opposite wall, chained in these metal shackles that are connected both to the walls of the shed and to spikes in the ground, a figure in priest clothes with a skeletal face. And I think that's where we're gonna end it.
I knew the end was coming, but I have so much I want to do with this interaction.
I can't. We have gone on very long.
This episode has been very long. I shouldn't have gone to the damn church.
So, do you have anything you'd like to plug, Mallory? I don't think you probably do.
No, Ty, I don't have any more of an online presence as I did the last time we recorded.
Awesome. So yeah, we're going to wrap.
Hey, listeners.
Yeah?
Keep listening to Side Character Quest.
Keep listening to Side Character Quest.
Check out the other shows on the Scavengers Network.
Heck yes. Check out the good folks over at Insanely Haunted. Check out the good folks at The Broads and the Bees. So anyway, until next time, I think we're gonna pitter patter on out of here.
Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Pitter patter, pitter patter.
Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
The Scavengers Network.
Creator driven,
Community focused.
Treasured content.
Do you like making fun of really, really bad ghost hunting shows?
There's one in particular we enjoy making fun of. It's called Ghost Adventures, and it includes things such as
Bad fashion sense,
grown men yelling at nothing,
outrageously large belt buckles,
too much hair gel,
and unfortunately, a lot of really cringy, painful, and socially unaware stuff too. I'm Cassie.
and I'm Max.
We're the hosts of Insanely Haunted, the show where we watch and review every episode of Ghost Adventures.
Find Insanely Haunted for free wherever you get your podcasts.
This is just gonna all just be bloop stuff.
Gosh, my nose is just so tickly. Listen, I've listened to a lot of the shows so far, and I have really enjoyed all of them. Mallory doesn't listen to a lot of podcasts, so she doesn't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
I haven't listened to any of them yet, but
By the time this episode comes out,
I'm about to be driving back and forth from
okay.
all the time. I am slowly triangulating my position in the world. I'm about to be doing a lot of driving.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a lot more time to listen to podcasts. I feel like a loser because I don't have AirPods.
And then we fade out. And so that's how it's gonna end. We're gonna cut out all of that sort of indecision.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, you say we are, but we're not gonna.
I think I might this time. This part is definitely gonna go on the bloopers.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Well, I suppose. Do you want? She glances over towards Work. Do you want just us to talk?
Now it's getting weird.
Wait, let me cut that bit. Okay, we're gonna cut that bit. Okay, back up. So she says,
I was gonna say, I feel like the theme of this Alton story arc is Alton goes to a person he trusts. Ty is just like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna take this confidant away from you. So Alton goes to another person that he trusts, and Ty is like, no. Cool.